The city was breathing that kind of late summer heat that clings to your skin and makes the world feel slower. Emily Monroe stood outside the coffee shop where she'd first met Ryan, 2 years ago, when everything was still soft and easy. He'd been charming then, with that crooked smile and the kind of voice that made ordinary words sound like promises. Back then, Ryan had just moved from Seattle to Chicago, chasing a dream job at an architecture firm. She was working part-time at an art gallery, sketching between shifts, believing in love and coincidence. He'd spilled coffee on her sketchbook that first day, apologized like a man whose whole world had just fallen apart. And somehow it had been adorable. They'd fallen fast. They'd fallen hard. 2 years later, they were living together in a small apartment that smelled like paint and takeout food, where their laughter used to fill every corner. Until she found the message. "Miss you. Same place tonight." And under it, the name, Sabrina. When Ryan came home that night, Emily was waiting on the couch, phone in her hand. Her eyes were calm, too calm. "Who's Sabrina?" she asked softly. He froze for a heartbeat, then smiled. That same smile that had always disarmed her. "Oh, just someone from work. We were discussing a project." "A project at midnight?" He hesitated, then sat beside her. Come on. You know how these deadlines go. It's nothing." She wanted to believe him. God. She wanted to. Ryan had a way of making lies sound like logic. But something inside her shifted that night. The silence between them was no longer comfortable. It was suspicious. Weeks passed, and the distance grew like a slow infection. Ryan came home later, his phone glued to him. He smiled less, touched her less. Emily started to notice small things. Perfume that wasn't hers. Receipts from restaurants they'd never been to. Once, she found a hair tie in his car. Not her color, not her brand. When she asked again, he looked at her like she was paranoid. I told you it's over. Whatever you're thinking, it's not true." She didn't argue. She just nodded, but her chest ached with a quiet knowing. That night, while he showered, she unlocked his phone. The password hadn't changed. Messages. Hundreds of them. And the same name, Sabrina. "You said you'd leave her. Soon. I just need to figure things out." Emily sat there, staring at the words until her vision blurred. He had said it was over. He had said she meant nothing. And yet, there she was, alive in every text, every promise he never made to her. When he came out of the shower, towel slung low around his hips, he found her sitting on the edge of the bed, holding his phone. "Emily." She didn't yell. Her voice was barely a whisper. "How long?" He froze. "How long, Ryan?" He sighed. A long, tired exhale that sounded like surrender. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what I think," she said. "Because I think you're lying to me in my own bed." Ryan sat down, his eyes full of guilt. "It started months ago. I tried to end it. I did. But she what?" Emily snapped. "She made you cheat? She made you lie." He rubbed his face, shaking his head. "I'm sorry. I got lost. Things between us haven't been the same." She laughed. A broken, sharp sound. "So you found yourself in someone else's bed?" He didn't answer. He didn't need to. The silence was the truth. Emily moved out 2 days later. She packed what little pride she had left into boxes, left the apartment keys on the counter, and walked away from the life she'd built around a man who didn't choose her. Ryan called once, twice, dozens of times. She ignored them all. But grief has a way of looping back. A month later, he showed up at her gallery opening, looking thinner, older. Please," he said, standing among her paintings. "I ended it with her. It's over. I made a mistake. I love you." She wanted to hate him. She wanted to walk away. But when he took her hand, her heart, that foolish, forgiving heart, cracked open again. Against her better judgment, she let him back in. For a while, it felt almost normal. They went on late-night drives, cooked together, laughed again. He promised her honesty. He promised he'd never lie again. And she believed him because love, when it's real, makes you blind to reason. It was a Saturday morning when Emily's world ended, again. Ryan had left his laptop open on the table. She wasn't snooping this time. She was just cleaning up coffee cups, until she saw the email notification pop up. "Sabrina, miss your voice. Can we talk?" Her hand trembled as she clicked. He'd replied that morning. "I can't keep doing this, but I can't stop thinking about you." The room went cold. The world stopped spinning. Emily sank into the chair, tears spilling quietly down her cheeks. There was no anger left, just emptiness. When Ryan came back from his jog, she was gone. On the kitchen counter, she left a note. "You said it was over. I believed you once. I won't believe you again." Ryan tried to call her, to explain, to fix what couldn't be fixed. But Emily blocked him from everything. Phone, email, life. He showed up at her door once, drenched in rain, begging for another chance. But she didn't open. Weeks turned to months. He started drinking. Work fell apart. Sabrina disappeared from his life too. Apparently, she'd found someone new. Ryan became a ghost of himself, drifting through days without purpose. Emily, on the other hand, tried to rebuild, painting again, traveling, learning how to breathe without him. But sometimes at night, she still missed him. The way he used to laugh, the warmth of his hand on her back. Love doesn't vanish, it just burns slower. Almost a year later, Emily received a text from an unknown number. "This is Ryan's mother. I'm sorry to tell you, he's gone. Accident on the highway last night." The phone slipped from her hand. For a long time, she couldn't breathe. She went to the funeral. She stood in the back, unseen, watching as people spoke about the man she'd loved, the man who'd broken her, twice. There were no words for what she felt. Grief, anger, love, all tangled together like a storm that never ended. After the service, his mother found her. "He carried this in his wallet," she said, handing Emily a folded piece of paper. It was one of Emily's old sketches, a drawing of them together, smiling. On the back, in his handwriting, it read, "She was the only thing I ever got right." Months later, Emily walked to the old coffee shop, the same one where it all began. Rain tapped gently against the windows as she sat by herself, sketchbook open. She drew him, not as he'd been at the end, broken and lost, but how he looked the day they met, laughing, alive. When she finished, she tore the page out and left it on the table. Outside, the wind carried it away, just another memory disappearing into the city. She whispered to no one, "You said it was over, but I never really stopped loving you." Then she walked into the rain, alone, letting it wash away what was left of him. Years later, her paintings hung in galleries across the country, vibrant, haunting works that people called modern tragedies of love. Only she knew what they truly were. Each stroke, each color, a confession she could never say out loud. And somewhere, in the corner of every canvas, hidden beneath layers of paint, she signed the same initials she once carved into his armrest. Because some love stories don't end. They just live quietly inside the people they destroy.